Right, legends. It's going to take a little bit of time to actually get started. So I'm going to wait for a little bit longer than usual because it's going to cut straight in a couple of seconds. I actually don't know exactly when. I think it's about 10 seconds. But, legends, I click the Streameruniente button. We have a lot to go through in this video. We're actually going to watch Bitcoin nuking in absolutely fantastic style. Got a little bit of feedback there, bro. We're going to watch Bitcoin nuke in fantastic style. And then we're going to answer questions. We're going to do a long stream. We're actually getting a little bit of a bounce, guys, on literally exactly where I said 80. It's actually 89,000. I said 88,000, but we are getting a bounce of 88, 89K. And we did actually go through into that support. So we're going to watch Bitcoin, guys. We're going to talk about it. We're going to answer questions. We're going to go through everything like that. We are live, I would say. Are we live, PT? Are we ready and rocking? You going to take mute off?
Yeah, no, we're live, brother. Yeah, I muted myself because
what news stories? What news stories have we got today as well? Whip up the
feedback. Oh, it's been a rough day. It's been a rough day out there. Oh, nothing's been working. I couldn't even get on.
Mate, let's have a look at what news stories you've got lined up.
Mate, we've got some serious shit been going down today.
We got some serious shit.
Honestly, it's the news gone crazy. You know what I mean?
Let's have a look. So we got Cloudflare went down. Cloudflare just went down, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it's been going on all day. Even your website was down for a bit.
Yeah, my website was down. I was on Wonder Trading trying to do some bot stuff. That went down. I went over to a website. Twitter was down, but that was something else, I think. I don't know if that was Cloudflare related.
Yeah, X was being weird.
It's actually a pretty mental topic, the whole thing, because, like, we talk about fucking Bitcoin and it being decentralized and it being the pure decentralized DeFi product for the world. But then most of the infrastructure of the internet relies on all these massive centralized. We do need decentralized internet. There was a company called D-Web or something, and it was trying to do it. I think it's a much more difficult task than people think to make it happen. But we do need decentralized.
Just get the devs on it, you know?
Just get like a whole load of wizard developers.
Just get the best devs in the world on it.
Devs. I think the issue is that the incentive is very difficult because a lot of DNS server providers and Cloudflare providers and all of the infrastructure built around the internet are companies that make loads and loads of money, billions of dollars a year. And I think decentralized internet services don't have very good revenue models. So it's almost like why would you build a decentralized internet? Because you're not going to get any reward from it. So it's kind of a little bit of a cat and mouse situation where there
isn't the dark web like a decentralized kind of.
No, it's not decentralized. It's just the Tor browsers and stuff. You use a special onion skin style browser to if you go on the dark web. I don't think you can really get on the dark web without using a Tor browser. But then you have this special way of they call it like the onion skin, and it's like you have multiple layers of how you access it. I haven't actually tried to access the dark web. Have you ever tried to do it?
Yeah, once. This was ages ago, like in the first year of uni, and we didn't even buy anything in the end. People couldn't even use Uber Eats today or League of Legends. They couldn't get on there.
I genuinely think that people
thousands of sites.
I think there's a lot of people out there who actually probably were severely affected by it. Like there could even be deaths because of it. Like think about all the situations you could be in when you can't access a certain website for certain stuff at a specific point. I don't know how many, like, maybe there's even hospitals that run systems with Cloudflare. It might get a bit hectic, you know?
Can't the devs just do something?
Yeah. So what you're looking at now, this is a tweet about all the things.
Yeah, just X, ChatGPT, PayPal was down, transactions were failing.
Ooh, yeah, imagine that last transaction you need to get
even
through.
Down Detector was down itself. That's when you know you're in trouble.
When you're in trouble. When the thing that's supposed to stop you from going down goes down, it's big problems arise.
Yeah.
Guys,
they all depend on it, don't they?
I don't know how many of you legends want to really dive deep into. Oh no, it's moved as well, so I need to actually do it for all of them. Oh no. So basically what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to scroll these across because I've actually changed our setup right now, guys. So basically right now, you can't really see the screen properly. So what I'm going to do is quickly do this. Guys, I won't go through the full analysis like I did yesterday on Bitcoin because I already did a whole massive video about it. I'm just making my screen look nice for you guys on Zedoruniente. Look, it's all popping in. I should probably make it so it's the other way around, but I'm giving you a nice little flow here, leggies. of what it's all going to look like. If I actually do... Yeah, we'll work it out. But yeah, guys, we're going to watch the price. If you want me to go through exactly what I think about Bitcoin, I can do it again. I'm just going to answer questions in the chat. But in my last video yesterday, I went into like a deep dive of like what I think about Bitcoin, and I'll be going to a bear market. And my thesis and my conclusion was it's around a 33% chance that we're going into a bear market for Bitcoin. But today we're just going to answer questions, tag along. I'm going to work out some stuff on my screen. I think I need to just do this on all of my tickers. You can see I'm bringing it in so you can see the price as well on this side. But guys, ask questions. I'm going to go through BTC. To be honest, on the hourly time frame, let's actually just dive into it. My bot sold everything at 103k. So when it gets back in eventually, it's probably going to be a decent run up. Okay, my phone's going crazy. But we are getting something now, guys. I was saying, let me go on an even lower time frame. So you can see here that, yeah, it was literally $200 off 88. I was saying 88 is looking like it's going to be the next bounce trade. We essentially front ran 88 by $200. So basically it's 88, 89k. We're getting some sort of support. We're getting a move off it right now. I haven't taken a trade on the basis of this yet. Ooh, yeah, nice little 4 or 5% move on that. So I was calling in my group, guys, for the last multiple weeks. Well, it's at least been a week. I've been saying that. No, I've been saying it for longer than that, maybe 3 weeks. I'm saying 94, 88, and 74 are the next bounce trades. And literally bang on $98,200, which is $200 off 88k. We're getting something now. Actually, it's a 4.5% move. So in a traditional trading sense, like that's an absolute winner. You know, you put fucking 100k long on leverage, you might be using some lev. So 10k in, 100k long. You could be in a higher position than that. You're going to be making flat $4,000 within $100,000 long from here. You've literally made $4,000 in... This is 5-minute candles, so this will be less than an hour probably. Like, we're looking at multiple hours, actually, probably about 5-6 hours. But Da Vinci says XRP will fall bad. XRP. Let me do all this on my little chart.
It's a bad day for the XRP army.
Yeah,
I did actually... I saw some sort of like real nice breakdown earlier. I'll try and find that again for us. But it was talking all about XRP and
guys, the chart
just
is not
how much of a shit show it is.
Yeah, fundamentally it's a shit show. Also, the technical chart doesn't look good. Like every single time you've had a massive rally in 5 minutes, it's gone back to essentially the beginning of that whole move, and it's done that the last multiple times. Like even these small ones, it goes back. So I would bet your bottom dollar, wherever it goes, eventually it might go higher, but I'm saying wherever it goes, it's probably going to do the same thing. It's because there's no fundamental reason to hold XRP for long periods of time. It's not built to be money. It's built to be a remittance token to move money. So you essentially, if you're a bank, and then you want to move money to another bank and not go through the banking SWIFT or IBAN system, you essentially can just transact the XRP. So you buy XRP, send XRP to the next bank, and then you can turn that XRP back into US dollars and skip the whole system to do faster remittances and transactions from within the banking system. But it's not a store of value, so you wouldn't buy it and hold it forever. So the price will not rise, and you can see that. It goes up and it goes back down in terms of spiky shit. But there's no point holding it long term. It's not a store of value. The block producers, there's only a handful of block producers, which are all banks, so the code base can be changed. The amount of people who have control over it is very small, so it's not worthwhile holding on for a long period of time. Literally zero. Well, yeah, the utility is what I explained about the remittance and movement within banks. Yeah, so yeah, this is exactly all these points here are why you do not want to hold XRP. It's a dog shit coin. Like it's centralized. It's not even using cryptography. It's owned by banks, which we're supposed to be getting away from with cryptocurrency. You've got all of the token suppliers held by a very few amount of wallet holders, so you can't have certainty in the longevity of it. It's not a store of value token. It's not even a scarce asset. You can just print more of them.
Wait, listen to this point as well. Who's that? Oh, so I'm getting a call through.
What point? Which one, Legend?
This one. Every month, 1 billion XRP unlocks. A portion is relocked for optics, and the rest gets dumped on mathematically challenged retail who still believes it will somehow reach $589.
If it goes to $589, that means the market cap of XRP will be more than all circulating supply US dollars on the globe.
Yeah, do you reckon it can happen?
Yeah. I think if it goes to $500, the market cap of it is like 50 trillion, which means that you'd have to take on board all US dollars in the base supply, as well as all derivatives and debt of US dollars, and all purchasing power of US dollars just goes into XRP. Yeah! Guys, it's a fucking shit show. Just don't bother with XRP. I don't even want to bother. I don't even know why I talk about it. Like, it's a tradable asset. You can trade it. But if you're looking for an investment in crypto, there's basically everything else is better than XRP for an investment. You could even look at fucking Dogecoin and be better than frickin' XRP. Ethereum's coming back down like we said before. The ETH chart, Aruni Ente. But with Bitcoin, guys, I do think we're getting a nice little move here. We'll see what we can do. So in terms of the boolars, the boolars and the bulls, what they want to see from 88k being support, 89k, you really want to come and sweep the prior area, the swing area of where the resistance is. And you can see on this indicator, it's articulating it very nicely. If we can now get back above 96, something like this would be a very good scenario for the bulls. Up to here, break through it decisively, back in, and you find it as support. You know, that's really what you're looking for this potentially to give you some sort of signal that now this is the bottom. But guys, like I said, 94 came in at some sort of support. It failed. Now we went to 88. We're getting something again. You know, ultimately, it might just end up with one of these and a keel over. That's fine. Actually, the probability of that's probably higher, considering we are in a downtrend on this lower time frame. I would just say on higher time frames, we're not downtrending yet. Everyone would say, oh my God, we're on a macro long-term downtrend and we're in a bear market, even though that can't be the case because we haven't broken 74k, which is the price swing low. With the 200-day moving average is not looking good. So I think it's a 33% chance we're in a bear market. But the volume's not in line with that. Even momentum's not in line with that on the weekly. And the structure is still intact. So we're not in a bear market. You can't say for a definitive 100% that was the top and we're in a bear market. But we are getting closer, potentially, because of the 200-day moving average. And we're below it, and it is beginning to aim down. But on the lower time frames, we are in a downtrend. So you could say the probability is to continue to go down. So if you want to think of it like this, on the lower time frames, we're in a bear market on lower time frames. This is why I don't like using the terminology bullish and bearish. Because what time frame are you talking about? Because you could be bullish on a 1 minute and bearish on a fucking 1 week. So it's like it's like three different ways of looking at it: the micro, the medium, and the long term. So technically speaking, if you're trading the market, you're always bullish and bearish all the fucking time because you're looking at different time frames. So just get rid of the whole thing about bullish and bearish and just play levels and say where I buy and where do I sell. And then it's just much more easy to... You got to remember, guys, like with trading, you're kind of battling your own mind. Like you haven't got a team behind you. You're kind of just sitting there and you're kind of trying to make decisions on the basis of what you see. And if you complicate it with lots of different stupid terminology, you're just going to end up not even knowing what you actually think yourself. And we've all been there. You get this decision fatigue. I think there's some sort of crazy dude who came out who said that, you could probably ChatGPT this, but there's a defined amount of decisions that human beings can make in a day without like it becoming completely a risk of just making completely shit. I think you have decision fatigue. I don't know how many it is. I think it's 70 decisions in a day or something. You can't really do any more than that. I mean, let me ChatGPT that. Chat it. How many?
State of mental exhaustion.
Yeah. In a day, can you make that are good? Is
Thousands
there any science behind daily decisions made? I swear someone came out with some mad shit on it. How many decisions?
Make it all back.
Wait. Whoa. There's studies estimate the average person makes between 6,000 and 35,000 decisions a day. So 70 is not too good, bruv. I'm doing pretty low numbers.
You have to make a few more than that, mate.
Maybe it was like
the
7.
only decision you need to make is to long wild goat coin. Let's go.
Most
All
of them,
right.
okay, most of them
Mate, this is the first time
unconscious.
I hear about this wild goat coin. Why is everyone talking about this shit now?
Okay, wait. It says here most of those 6,000 decisions are unconscious, so
Yeah.
they like micro choices, but actual like decisions which you have consciousness over is 100 to 200, so that's about right on the 70. So okay, I think it depends on the importance of the decision as well and the pressure you have on the decision.
Yeah,
So I would
yeah.
say, like, if you're making 70 decisions in a trading market, I think that's definitely going to be where you're going to hit your fatigue in terms of you're trying to get. That's why high velocity, lower time frame scalp trading is so difficult to do on long periods, because you essentially are, if you're going to trade in and out of the market like 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times a day, like, it's just so difficult to stay composed long periods of time. The only decision you need to make is the long wild goat coin. Let's go.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, legends. You know what?
We're gonna have to
Sometimes
check that out in a bit.
I know it's a little bit early, but I need to order. Oh shit! What was that? Okay, that's fine. I need to order some food. Really, I haven't like. It's gonna be a long stream, and I'm not even like prepared for like anything in my shit. I'm just on stream and not managed to order
Let's
anything.
get some steaks in.
Yeah, I might get some. I'm gonna get some lamb chops. Just sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Pete, let's get up that guy. Guys, I've got a message for everyone. And if you're feeling down because of the market falling, we've got a message for you.
You can do it.
Yeah, and this message is really important. You need to find the exact right one.
Send this to somebody who is incredibly sexy.
No.
Did you hear that? It's the birds. They're chirping today. It is a gorgeous day, and you are way too sexy to be this sad and this worried about your super little problems. Okay, we all have
Deep breath.
Oh,
Just a little bit of a reminder.
no,
You
what have you
words with
done?
the wives, if you will.
No.
Wait. I'll find the video. We'll come back to it.
You find the video, all right? We're getting
I'll
some
find
support
baby
right
girl.
now.
That's awesome. We'll come back to that guy, but I'm loving his shit.
That's some dark stuff that guy's up to. But yeah, we've got a message for you in a minute. Oh shit, the longs are actually beginning to fall. We have got something happening which is good for Z bulls. The longs are beginning to fall and the shorts are beginning to rise. That's one good thing. But yeah, guys, so this is what you want to see, and I'm gonna order something on my phone. One sec. Should I just do it? Okay. Oh. Yeah, I'll order that. That's fine. So basically, for the bulls, what we want to see for actually the bottom coming in for this specific cyclical bear move within a longer, broader bull market. We are still in a bull market, just to clarify. We're in 33% chance to be in a bear market. Sorry, I'm just making a purchase on my phone. That's all done. So for the bulls, what you want to see, guys, I was saying, guys, from the beginning of time, I think $88,000 is going to be the next area of support. That's where we're getting support right now. Actually, $89,200, so $200 off. But I said between 88K and actually about between 85 and 88 was my specific area for support, and we're getting it right now. Now, what we want to see, guys, if you're looking to hold on to those longs, if you got long from 88 like I was speaking about, this area here, guys, you can see AI charting tools is my indicator. It's drawn on all the levels. This is exactly where we want to get above. You can see we came to 94, resistance, 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 resistance. This is Z level. Many, many times we've seen resistance on it. So it's an SR flip. So it will likely be resistance again, by the way, for a higher low potentially here. But what we want to see is the price go straight through it, fill the ball. This is the best case scenario. See resistance on higher levels, and then come and find it as support. That's what we want to see for the bulls. Now, the probability actually of that, looking at Bitcoin, is lower, unfortunately, on the lower time frames, because you can see that we are in a definitive downtrend right now. And the way you can see that is you have a high, a lower high, a lower low. Sorry, that would be the low from there. So high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So you would say actually, you know, you'd be betting that you'd probably get a lower high here. And I am still in the camp on the lower time frames of shorting every pump, just so you know. So the next short would be actually in here. I would say probably go a little bit higher, to be honest, because if you're going to wait for this and then short into this could just be a short down and then a higher low and then a breakthrough. So I would say if you're going to get a short, definitely into here, because you've got, you know, the support regions coming in is pretty ridiculous. So like it was huge support, and then we broke it. So here's going to be a really nice short, because you want to short every single high. And actually, if you do a fib on this, it's probably going to come into, whoops, the right. No, you naughty, naughty sausage. So if you do a Fibonacci on this, young squires, you're probably going to get a really nice area in here, the 618 as well. So it's kind of all correlating with that. Move up to the 618, you're looking for a short, okay? Now, here, again, on the micro, you could take it, because I am saying you should short every pump. And these are essentially lower time frame head shorts, because we are in a downtrend. So on the lower time frames, you want to still, the trend is your friend. Of course, I'm just saying that 94, 88, and 74 are the higher time frame perspective buys. It's actually bang on where we got the open and the closes here. But the chart you really want to look at for that is this one. Many different charts, guys. So we have, yeah, like we said, 94, we lost it. 88, we're now getting it right now. So this is literally the bounce off 88. Well, it's actually 89,200 right now. If you see it go down to 88 again, or 88.5, definitely look for that position. And then 74 as well. So these are the three bigger bounce trades for potentially continuing to go up, not meaning we'll break the all-time high, just going up again. And then on the lower time frames, let me just make sure that's the daily, that's the weekly, yep. And then on the lower time frames, guys, and obviously hourly for a lot of you guys isn't that low, but on the hourly time frames, we're looking to get above these certain resistances, but 88 was the long. Now you're looking to head short into these areas, just in case, guys, we continue Z downtrend, and then we go all the way down to fucking 74. Because if we lose 88 decisively, we're going 74k. And then we're at the low end. If we lose 88, guys, it's going to be a quick move. It would be very severe. If we went all the way down to 74, which I think is very, very easily one of the best buys, it's very likely going to get a bounce off 74, guys. I said this in my prior stream. You can go watch it right now. Just watch the first 30 minutes of my last stream, and you'll be laughing in terms of the analysis. But here, 74 is a super good buy. Very, very likely going to get a bounce off that, and then you put your stop into break, or you put your stop into below the wicks and then put it to break. Even when it rallies, it very, very likely will. But it would be quite significant if we didn't see resistance at 88 at some level. That would be a very, very big price movement down for Bitcoin. Actually, we're looking at a 40% move, which would be more than the average of every single cyclical bear move within this broader, longer term bull market. Because we did 26% here, we did this was a 33% move down. This one from high to low, where we found the swing low was 31, 32%. So if we do go to 40%, that would be, again, a pretty decent sign that the probability of a bear market starting is increasing. And right now, it's 33% chance that we're in a bear market because of the 200-day moving average. I won't explain that whole thesis again because I did it in my prior video. But to say it in one sentence, if the moving average is aiming down and you're below it, that means in my book, you have a 33% chance of going to a bear market, okay? Just if you're below the 200-day movage and it's aiming down, and both of those things are happened. So 33%. Volume hasn't really been giving us much, guys. We actually have a significant green buy volume today. And this is actually on the weekly time scale. So this is happening. This is actually pretty interesting. We still have the majority node is red, and it does overshadow the green buy node. But this week is changing. You know, we're beginning to get more volume this week. And you can see here as well, guys, let's just say another like nuanced part of the higher time frame volume perspective I think about in terms of the analysis is you can see here there's a lot of blue in this band. This is our combination bands, which are a part of AlgoMaster. Just come here and turn on upper bands and lower bands. And then you need to turn them on combination here, because combination is I call it a secret source for MDX Algo, which we use, you can see that there's fuckloads of sell pressure above the price, which means there's nothing here in here. So let me just give you an example. For when the price is rallying, it's very likely you have a lot of blue in here, and that's articulated to you that the order books are predominantly buyers. So you can see here that massive amounts of blue, the price is rising, nothing in the other side of the books. Right now, we've had actually all the way going back a month or so, we've had more blue up here, and right now it's actually kind of peaking out. So what we want to see from the next weekly candle, or this weekly candle, is the color of this begin to dissipate, because that means that there's less sellers. And if we do begin to see here, we had a little bit of a pump. If we begin to see this fill up with blue, and guys, just to make sure you don't get confused, I've just set it to blue. For you, it will be green and red, so it will look like this for you. So let me just quickly do it for you. Green and red on the clouds. And then it should populate. Yeah, you can see it's loading. So this is what it will look like on your screen. I could leave it like this, but it just looks a bit messy, doesn't it? You know, fucking everywhere, going crazy. But you can see here, that's sell. And this is obviously the green. So you can see when we're rallying, it's all bloody green. What I might do, actually, because obviously these videos are out there in the ether for everyone to watch. What I might do, that's the wrong... No, it's not. I've now changed the color so I can't see it. So what I might do is just make them less prominent so you guys can just see the red and the green, because this is something I do look at, and I've been using this indicator on this chart since we developed it, actually, and it was probably the reason we developed it with oh no, what happened there? It's changed the actual strength in it. Okay, it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, I suppose it's still there, but changing the color is changing the amount you can see, so it's a little bit like I'm probably going to go about 65% on this, guys. But we developed this a couple of years ago, and it was literally kind of... We were doing Bollinger Band analysis, and we were doing bands. And then we were like, well, why don't we put the volume from exchanges in the bands? And it works absolutely beautifully, to be honest. And on lower time frames, it's crazy. You can see... Because what it's doing is the bands can be a signal for a retrace anyway if you go into the bands, the upside or the downside. But you can see that it articulates very well when there's more buy pressure and there's nothing above it. The price is rising, and there aren't many scenarios where here we have actually kind of a combination of the both. So we have green on the bottom and red at the top, so it's kind of going down and sideways. And at the moment you can see, yeah, we had the big red node here, nothing in buy pressure for months under here in comparison to up here. So you can see there's a lot of sell pressure, and the price has been falling. Even when we had a little bit of sell pressure, the price was flat. So that's the combination of the two, really. And then we also have the 200-day moving average here, but it's a little bit less significant. Have I got the PI top cycle indicator on here? Yeah. So another interesting thing is if you can see on the longer term time frames, you see these red PI top cycle indicator indications. Every cycle we have had the tops being called by this indicator, and it's kind of mental how it's always been absolutely on the nail of the top of each cycle. We haven't got anywhere near that yet. The PI top cycle indicator it's crazy. Like, for it to cross, it's one of those ones where it's going to have to significantly increase in price for it to cross. Because if just to kind of like speculate what they would do, let's just say the price of Bitcoin did begin to rally, because we're below it right now, so it's falling, but it would have to do something like this, and then this would have, let's just say best case scenario, it's flat. You know, it's going to be, the price is going to be crazy, like 200K or higher, to get the PI top cycle indicator to cross. And it has been something that's caught every single top for Bitcoin ever, any cycle. So the PI top cycle indicator is nowhere to be seen right now, which is an interesting one for the bulls, because it means that something that has always happened is not happening this time, which would reduce the probability of a bear market being in play. But I would say, again, 33% chance that we're in a bear market. But this indicator, guys, is using combination bands, but we put the volume from exchanges into the band. So it's actually a really nice way of articulating what's happening on higher time frame volume. We're on the weekly right now for Bitcoin anyway. So you have a big red node here, which has engulfed the rest of all other price action volume. So I'm not really sold on it, but there is an argument here to say, You know, the volume is not what you would usually see. You would usually see the volume really increase and then really fall. It's just like kind of increased and it's kind of staying in the middle. So it's not perfect, but I would have to conclude that the biggest buy or sell pressure has been from sellers, and it's engulfed everything else. So that's a sign that the future potentially will be downside. If this green candle really engulfs this one, then we could be talking about, okay, see you on the flippers. We're actually okay here. But I would say that 33% chance of a bear market increases if we don't get a significant buy green candle. And if this continues to be red above price, it's not a good look, because there's not many examples where you have red above price and the price isn't falling. Like even here was a good example. Price fell quite significantly, and it's actually more volume here. So it's a nice way to visualize the volume. And ultimately, if we do lose 88, so we got a little bit of support of 88 now, 89, 88. If we do lose that and go to 74, that would be a freaking 40% move down. If we lose 88 in the next several hours, it'll probably happen in 8 hours time, or it'll happen in the next couple of days. If we lose 88, which is here, and go all the way to 74, and say this move takes us from 125 all the way to 74, and we get no significant bounce on the way down, I think, again, guys, you have to look at the volume, you have to look at the 200-day moving average, you have to look at the structure. You have to go to about a 50% chance for a bear market to start. If we go to 74 now with no support at 88 or any bounce, we don't get anything back to 100, we don't go back to like here, we don't even go back to the prior swing low, I've got a call. It's about a 50% chance that we're going to start a bear market. When I say bear market, I mean longer term bear market. And what will likely end up happening if we do go to 74 is we will have some sort of relief rally. Wherever it goes remains to be seen. We'll probably retest. Let's just speculate a little bit even further. So let's just say we did go to 74. So it wouldn't surprise me to see 106 again, or 100K. And I've already said from my prior video that I'm definitely going to be shorting $100,000. And the 200 day as it comes up. So $100,000 is 100% solidified. If we get $100,000 again, even here, I'm hedging against my sport portfolio, because I don't want to miss a potential massive drawdown, because there's a 33% chance, or maybe a little bit more at the minute, of Bitcoin going into a bear market. And I don't want to just let my portfolio draw down 60%, because the next bear market in Bitcoin will likely be a 60% correction. Could even go further, but if you take a drawing tool and you go down 60%, between 60 and 70%, the bear market, it means, yeah, we're likely coming back to around that 40, between 40 and 30K would be, if this was the top, which I'm not saying it is, by the way. There's no confirmation that we have hit the top yet. And you can't say we're in a bear market yet, just because the price went down a little bit and we're above 74, the swing low. I would say that, yeah, if that's the top, Bitcoin's likely going to go to between $40,000 to $30,000 for the swing low of the whole thing. And we do know as well, guys, that there are a few other markets right now that are topping out as well. I think gold is coming towards its top. I think the stock market is coming towards a long-term macro top. So we've got the stock market potentially topping, and I think the top is over the next 2 years, the stock market will top and have a significant pullback in price. We've got gold that is very likely going to come towards its top. And then we have Bitcoin that I'm not sold on the top yet, but it could have another rally, because obviously the stock market in gold will take gold probably a year to top out. It'll take the stock market, I'm estimating, around the next 2 years to top out and begin to fall, because that, the inflation adjusted chart is just screaming that it's pullback territory. Let me move this across as well, so it's a little bit easier for you to see. But actually, you don't need it on this one, to be honest. But yeah, this chart here, guys, you're seeing that the stock market is at the same levels of value in terms of purchasing power than we had at the top, the .com bubble. So if you put this idea into your head, let's just say I wasn't really trading the markets during .com. That was in the 2000s. So that was 25 years ago. Okay, so I was probably fucking 10 years old. But if you were around at the dot-com bubble, and if you ask anyone who was around in the dot-com bubble, if you ask them this question, did you think at the top of the dot-com bubble that stocks and shares were overpriced and overvalued? 99% of people would say during dot-com, we all knew that everything was overvalued. So my point is, if that's the thesis of what everyone said then, that's where we are right fucking now. So we should be thinking, if you thought that the top of the dot-com bubble was overpriced, overzealous, overvalued stocks because people were buying fucking dot-com stocks, like pets.com is a good example. People were buying companies with just because they had a URL. They were like, okay, the company was valued at billions of dollars just because they owned a URL. It's the same way as people invested in fucking blockchain projects because they had a blockchain. It's like, it doesn't fucking do anything. Or they, in a lot of cases, actually in blockchain, they didn't, in a lot of ICOs, they didn't even have a blockchain. They just had a website and they still got massive valuation. So it was even worse than .com. But fucking, yeah, the .com bubble, and I would agree myself, this was overvalued. We're there right now. So the stock market is at the same levels of the .com bubble. Gold is at the same levels as 2011, which was the 2011 highs. And I do think, again, we're not going to go to 1971 highs. I do think this is probably where we're going to come peter out here. But anyway, my point is this. The stock market's looking like it's getting towards a macro top. Gold's looking like it's getting towards a macro top. Bitcoin... yeah, man, there's gonna. I just think within the next 2 years, the price of the stock market, gold, and Bitcoin are going to significantly fall. And like I said, everyone's like the AI bubble. I did a tweet about this. I'll quickly whip it up. Oh, I've got this guy on the screen instead of what I'm trying to look at. Your screen's real nice, bro. I'll go into Botmaster, which we're launching in a minute, guys. So this is my Botmaster project. We have 3 bots already in the lineup for you guys. So you can just read this tweet. But so if you go to, what was I talking about? What was the question he said in the chat or whatever? I did a tweet about it. I need to find it though. I can't remember exactly where I went on a bit of a tangent, sirs, or sires, or sirettes. Do you remember what he said, bro? What was the question? What was I even going on about? Oh, the AI bubble. Yeah. The AI bubble. So here on this tweet, I don't even know why I'm showing you the tweet. It's got the image, but Trump bubble. The only reason I wrote Trump bubble was because the news and the media will blame it on Trump for why it's falling in price. But actually, it's nothing to do with Trump and it's nothing to do with AI. AI has been around since COVID. We're not in an AI bubble. The actual reason I believe we're in a bubble right now in terms of the price of things are getting overvalued, things are going up, is because since COVID, governments went to extraordinary levels to print fuckloads of currency to essentially stop this whole problem from happening. And what everyone's done, we got Microsoft have been doing this, we got Mercedes, Mansory, a lot of big car companies like Porsche. We've seen this with people like Sailor. This is private companies who are using... So what companies used to do is they used to hold cash, because cash would be their little treasury asset. They'll be their safe haven. But since COVID, all companies, private, public, all the way through to massive fucking corporates and even fucking just people like Sailor, they're saying, fuck that. I want to move the purchasing power of cash into something else. And the stock market has just become one of those things, because not all companies can buy Bitcoin. Not all companies can buy gold. But the stock market is the biggest connection. So, yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with AI. I don't think it's anything to do with Trump. It's just not. It's actually to do with people have been using the stock market as a tool to get out of cash, because they're using it technically as store of value, even though it's not a very good store of value. It can be still used as store of value, but that will eventually end because people are looking at the market and fucking gold's trading at $4,000. So there's going to be a point where everyone who holds gold are going to want to get that bid. If everyone's bidding up the price of gold to $4,000, $5,000, it's only a matter of time before people who have gold say, I want to take that bid. I want to trade my gold for $5,000 fucking dollars per ounce. And then you'll have a cycle where it begins to fall in price. Simple as that. Let's chat about some news, bro. What you got for me, Peteski?
Yeah, I got the right video this time.
Oh, you got the right video. All right, guys. What we want to do is anyone who's suffering in this bear market, just listen to this guy. He'll give you some inspiration.
Buenos dias, sexy. It is an amazing day today. It is a brand new day with new opportunities ahead of you. Do not waste these opportunities because you are sad or you're overthinking or you're in analysis paralysis on what you want to do with your life, okay? Because today is the only day that we have. We don't know if we have tomorrow. We don't know if we have the next day or the next day. We could die in 2 seconds or 20 years. We do not know that. So live today like it is your best day ever and like it is your last day. Because you are incredibly sexy and you need to keep your chin up and you need to move forward with confidence, okay? Don't let me catch you frowning or I will come kick your ass. Buenos dias.
A little bit of inspirational words for you legends out there. If you're letting it get you down, if you're feeling blue because of the downwards price movements of Bitcoin, just remember that you need to get out there and seize the day, regardless of the parameters. Got some questions in the chat. Let's do some questions, legends. I think the reason the chat comes in later to when we actually watch it is because I changed the latency to normal instead of ultra fast.
Right. Mosaic's got an interesting point here.
Mosaic.
The bands crossed decreased each cycle, and if you take the derivative of the averages, it was obviously not going to cross this cycle.
So what he's talking about, the PI top cycle indicator, yeah? Is that what he's talking about?
I think so. I think this is he sent that a while ago. I'm going to put the link to that video in the chat for the guy.
The thing is, the issue is that we're not in a solidified bear market yet. So it doesn't matter about the prior cycle or how it got there or what it did to get the cross. All we know is that it always crossed. And that's enough in itself. So there's no solidifying factor saying we're in a bear market yet. There's a higher potential chance of being in a bear market because of the 200-day. And the volume's not looking great. But, this can still happen. We can still have a rally back up. We can see some resistance, make a higher low. And we can shoot to the moon to $200,000. Like, if gold and the stock market are going to take a minimum of 18 months to top out, it takes a long time. In 18 months, Bitcoin can do whatever it fucking wants. It can go to 0 or a fucking million in that kind of time. 18 months is significantly long. I would like probably times by 5. Any time frame you're looking at on the stock market. So like 1 year in the stock market is kind of like 5 years in crypto. Like 5 years of price action can happen in crypto. So the whole cycle can play out. Here we go. Yeah, so I can see it now. The amount they crossed was less and less. I'm not really sold on that. I'll have to look into that a bit more. I'm not really sold on that analysis in terms of what it really means because it doesn't matter. They always crossed, so it doesn't matter how they got there. They just did. But yeah, it's for me. I would say that if we got another cross, then it would be a great indication of something. But we're not there yet, and they are very far away. So it's pretty interesting to see that. So there are some factors here from prior cycles. If you wanted to look at prior cycles and say what was a signal that there was a top, we don't have those yet, which has to put into your mind that there's less probability or chance of it happening this time at this point, even though I'm saying I still think it's 33% chance that we're in a top. Like I said a billion times, because I'm going to short, if we get $100,000, it's a short for me. If we get $110,000, it's a short for me. So let's just say we rallied up now to 100K. I'm looking for a hedge short. If we go to 110K with a 200-day moving average, looking for a hedge short. And I'll be hedging short against my portfolio on those two trades, just in case it is the top. But I'm not here like all these noobs online saying 100% that it's the top yet, because then they just expose themselves. Because there's no way that you can give that type of definitive answer right now. And if you do that, then you just expose the fact that you're naive to this game because you're not using any fucking process. They were like the rule of 7. It's like, come on, legends. I do kind of like that, but what we got here, mate? What's this? Little asset management LLC. Have they gone? What's happened?
This is Michael Burry's letter to all of his investors. This is actually almost a month old, but I don't know if you talked about this.
I didn't actually see it. No.
Yeah, Michael Burry from the guy who did the big short film stuff. He's closed it all down, and yeah, this letter was quite interesting as well. Heavy heart. I liquidate the funds, return capital. He's just saying he hasn't been in sync with the markets. Apologies, and yeah, he wishes everyone well. He's just closed his investment firm. Also, that guy said he'll tweet you the analysis as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, this is this game, man. Like, you've got people who've come into trading for 1 year and they think they know it all. And you got dudes who have been trading for 20 years who get out of sync and make mistakes, and it's a tough sport. It's one of those real tough sports where you got to stay on top of it for fucking.
He has done something though where he's made his move and now he's pulled out. I'll try and find that for us in a second. Some interesting question here in the chat as well from Official D Planet. What do you think of Hayes' thesis that we're in for a liquidity crunch in the short term, but then the money printer will be turned on and good times?
Arthur Hayes, yeah, so BitMEX CEO. Liquidity crunch. Well, M2 money supply is increasing, so I wouldn't say that there's a massive crunch on liquidity. I do think that there's a good idea about the business cycle, but a lot of people are saying it's pushed out 5 years now. So in terms of liquidity, potentially a crunch, because we had it in the altcoin market. It might be coming for Bitcoin, but I'm not really sold, and I'm not going to comment on something that I'm not 100% sure on, or I have 100% a good answer for or a good understanding of. So I'm not going to say that he could have his own analysis, his own thesis, his own ideas. Everyone's got their own ideas. I'm just going to stick to the things that I understand and I know. And I would say that short term, Bitcoin right now is reducing in price. We do have a stock market issue where it is at all-time value highs. And also the gold price has fucking gone to 2011 value highs. I don't know if it's a liquidity issue. I think it's more to do with just we've got a huge amount of fucking if you do any analysis with M2 money supply, the prices are just inflated and the prices have been rallying for a long period of time, and people are trying to escape from cash for good reason. But that time has probably come to an end for a period now. Cash will become king again. Cash is obviously ultimately trash, but cash will be king for a period of time because I don't see anywhere you can go but cash. Stock market's at fucking all-time high value. In terms of, and guys, when I say value and price, I'm talking about different fucking things. I'm saying the stock market is at all-time highs of value, the same as the dot-com bubble. Gold is at record highs, not all-time highs, because 1971 beats this, but it's at its 2011 highs. In terms of purchasing power, and I already said we're going to get resistance. We're getting it right now. Bitcoin is, 30% off its all-time high. But the problem is like, a lot of people, what they would do is they would go from the stock market into gold, or they'd go from gold into the stock market, or gold into Bitcoin, or Bitcoin into gold, or whatever it is. And they would be moving into other asset classes. But at the moment, everything's fucking crazy high. So I do think we're going to have a flush back to cash. I was having this conversation with my dad, actually, Disco Pete, literally, I think it was literally this morning. And I was like, he was like, why will it go down? Like, why will the things go down? Like, why will gold go down? And why will the stock market go down? Like, why can't they just stay at all-time high values? Why can't the valuations just be always, like, high? And fundamentally, the reason is because the bidding war to get stocks has been happening for so long. So if you think about it in a more fundamental way, when the price of things are rising, what's happening is that people in the participant in the market, people are bidding up more and more US dollars to get that thing. So there's a certain amount of supply of the thing out there, and people are bidding on the order book. And technically, this could just be, you don't even need an order book. It could just be someone in the street There's one item he wants to buy, and lots of people are just saying, I'll give $2. No, I'll give $3. No, I'll give $4. No, I'll give $5. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's happening with Bitcoin and every single thing right now. The bidding war, which is very simple, more and more people are prepared to give more and more US dollars by bidding higher and higher for that thing. And we're seeing it in gold, the stock market, and Bitcoin. It's been happening the last year. But he was like, but why can't it just stay high? Like, why can't the value just be really high forever? And the reason is because the crescendo of everyone outbidding to go up and up and up and up. So, $1, $2, $3, $4. What happens is the people who are holding those things, for instance, gold, stocks and shares, and Bitcoin, what happens is there becomes a crunch time or a crunch moment where people who own those things, stocks, shares, and gold, and Bitcoin, they take the bid. So, like, fuck it. They've been bidding this up for so long. Now I'm going to take the bid. And then what happens is that the more and more people who start saying, fuck it, I'm going to take that high bid for the thing I've got, the more that happens, it means the more Bitcoin, stocks, and gold comes into supply, which means the people who are bidding, the 1, 2, 3, 4 up, they've now got more choices. So they don't have to just like bid to one person in this example. They now can bid to 5, but then the bidding war starts happening in the other direction. So what I'm trying to say is like it's just the animal instincts. I do think cash is now going to have a moment where it becomes king again because people are fucking bidding up all these assets, especially the stock market in terms of value. And there's going to be a point where anyone who's holding them, they go, fuck it, I'm going to start selling. Then the supply comes on. It's essentially, I'm basically trying to visualize what the relationship between fear and greed as well as supply and demand, how it actually looks. And the price is going to fall because the supply is going to come on, and that means the people who are looking to buy, they have more choice to buy in the market. So that's the reason it's going to go down. But it was a very elementary question, but it's kind of like, it's interesting as well, like how people who aren't in trading or understand markets, they kind of have no idea. Like, but why can't it just stay up forever? And it comes down to the premise of two things: supply and demand and fear and greed. And then what happens is when the people who own stocks and shares begin to sell, the reason it's a cascade effect is because then people start saying, oh shit, I thought I could get $5, but now it's only 4, and they panic and they're like, oh shit, well I thought I could get 5, but now it's only 4. So then the bidding war happens the other way. And we're seeing that probably going to happen in the stock market and gold very soon. And but the thing is, like I said, gold in the stock market, I think the top is going to happen in the next couple of years. So 2026 is probably higher probability. 2027 for sure. I think between 26 and 27 we're going to get it. But in that time period, Bitcoin is like such a pinball. It's just a tiny little thing. It's like 1.8 trillion in comparison to like gold and then the stock market. Like we're talking like it's like nothing. So it can do anything in that period of time. It could go to 200 or go to fucking 20. Yeah, so I'm actually not sure. I'm not going to comment on something that I'm not 100% familiar with because there's no point because I'll just be putting out bad information. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if it can be a liquidity crunch short term though. I think the liquidity's fine. The business cycle was still going up. M2 money supply is still going up, so there's more money in the system. In terms of Bitcoin, I think actually a lot of whales are selling at the moment, so there's more Bitcoin coming into liquid form in terms of out there on exchanges. Maybe. He's definitely got some good ideas. I'll tell you that. But he's a fucking scam artist at heart. He fucking just took everybody's Bitcoin. The BitMEX scam. Thanks. Also, you have excited. Okay. Do you have?
Have you exited any altcoin positions?
Yeah, I sold all my BNB. When Bitcoin trade went to $125,000, BNB went on an absolute monumental run, and I sold all my BNB, and I was completely open. It's literally done exactly what I said. So I said I did a tweet. You could probably go find it. It was trading up here. It was when it went absolutely parabolic, and I just sold all my BNB, and I said it's likely going to come back to 700, and we're almost there. It came to a wick at 780. But I do think BNB is going to likely come lower. This is a crazy parabolic move. But I was about, I think it's about 200k cash sitting from BNB. So I still have a head short there technically, but you can probably find it in my group. You can probably find it in Pro Signals. I'll actually go back and find it for you now, where I said I sold all my BNB. So that's probably 200. No, that's not it.
Yeah, I remember. This wasn't even that long ago, was it?
Yeah, well, Bitcoin went. Well, it was when Bitcoin did its all-time. It was before the big altcoin liquidity squeeze. It was a fucking nice trade. Here we go. No, that's gold. Macro thesis on gold. Yeah, that's the resistance we saw here. I mean, it will be here in a minute. It will be here in a minute, young squires. Head short there. That was nice. Yum, 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 yum. Come on, legends. It's, you know when you're scrolling through shit and it's like, come on, guys. Where's it at?
You can find it.
You can do it. I promise. You can be strong. And you can do it properly. Where's the BNB chart, legends? This is going too far back now, so I've probably just scrolled straight past it. It'll probably be on my
Just search. I can't find it on Twitter searching for the BNB tweet.
Let's just find it. I'm halfway through it now. It was just, I think I just wrote a little bit of analysis on it as well. Yeah, that was when I tweeted about gold, and that was literally when we were in there, and then we've significantly pulled back even from gold. BNB, Sires, Squires, and Surretus. This is one of my Wait, what? Where is it, legends? Stop being a moron in crypto. I actually laugh at some of my own tweets. Fucking hell. I can't even find it. It must be further back. Where did I post it?
Yeah, you must have deleted it.
Mate, I don't delete tweets, bruv. Bruv.
You've never deleted a tweet.
No, I've deleted some tweets, but I haven't deleted anything to do with price analysis because I do feel
When
like
was the last time you done a drunk tweet?
I usually delete my streams. I don't usually delete my tweets. There's probably some hectic shit up on Twitter, you know. I'm not stopping until I find this. This is ridiculous.
Have you exited any altcoins recently? You sold anything off?
BNB, and that was it, really. I don't really have... I'm not a massive altcoin. I have like 97% Bitcoin, so... I'm not... This is not happening. There we go. Here we go. I'm glad I sold all my BNB last week, and then I can go back. Yeah, here we go. I just sold all my BNB to cash. We'll wait for another entry later. Very hot, good profit from it. So this was on the 4th of the 10th. So 4th of October. 4th of October. Where does that correlate with? We'll have a look. The 4th of October. I'm on a weekly, so we'll do the day. So literally, it was a fucking nice sell, to be honest. 4th of October was here, so I literally sold all my BNB here. It went up a little bit higher, and then all the way down, and now we're trading here. So it's a good trade. If I went and just bought all my cash back in with BNB, you'd be looking at like a 20% increase of BNB. But I'm not going to go back into BNB because we're not at 700. I'll buy it at 700, but I'm not going to go back in. And also, it was a good trade because BNB was going up. And on the 4th of October was here. So this was the 4th of October. So yeah, it was basically the top of Bitcoin as well. So that it's a head short for me, essentially. I just wanted to... The whole point I did it was because I thought that BNB is going to completely nuke. But it just so happened that Bitcoin, because of its move up, BNB went parabolic, and then it's just so happened it's been a pretty decent trade on both sides. But we're getting something now on the old BTC side. I need to eat something. I'm still fasting today. You doing any fasting, Petey?
I actually just fast pretty much the first half of the day. I don't really do breakfast anymore. I don't really like to do a lunch because then it makes me really tired. So I end up just having like a big dinner and then I just snack. I'm a bit of a snacker, you know what I'm saying? I like a few snackies in the evening.
Yeah, you're a snacker. I can
And a bit
hear
of
it.
sweet eats, but I do fast pretty much for like the first half of the day up until about 5 o'clock. Have a nice little lunch. I had sausages and mash today.
What reel did? Oh, you really? Yeah, I'm sorry. He had some sausages and mushrooms. Yes.
Oh, what does this mean? This little guy.
Yeah,
Dude, this would have never happened if Cloudflare was hosted on the blockchain, bro.
And then he got
It's
that
the state
image.
of this gaff.
That's his gaff, bro. That's actually dark, isn't it?
That'd be like Kerr's gaff back in the day.
Yeah. We've all known some bro from back in the day who just lived in squalor. It's hectic,
Yeah,
as.
love it. This was quite funny as well. Can you actually hear volume from tweets here?
Yeah, go on. Click it.
With AOC,
Yeah, it's working.
they found the damning video of AOC
Make it full screen.
dancing and drinking with her
no, yeah,
friends
that's
on the
better.
roof at college. Or like, and this is a congressperson, and she looks so happy and beautiful and cool, and you're like, oh, they think this is ending her career because they never did this.
Yeah, but
they were never that comfortable to do this.
yeah, and if she had some deprogramming, she could be such a fantastic candidate.
What do you mean deprogramming?
What is this about?
Well, she just doesn't. She's never going to resonate with people outside of the bubble that she lives in the very, very far left.
Well,
And that, I mean, the New York Times, of all people, the people I've been like squabbling with for the last 7, 8, 10 years, whatever, when I was all about, Democrats have gone too far left, they just put out a huge editorial basically saying exactly what I've been saying.
what, that she's too far left?
Yes.
Hey, what is this
and
about,
that
bro?
the only
Just pause
way
it a
the
sec.
Democrats will ever win again, not that the Republicans are probably going to.
There's been a good guest on recently on Bill Maher's show, and just talking about how the left are in a big bubble, and talking about AOC and how they went too far with like the gender stuff and education. And it's a good little clip with him and his guest. But there's been all clips from this interview has been going viral, especially he's talking about how certain issues are not reaching into the blue sky bubbles and stuff, and just how everyone's siloed, and Democrats and people on the far left just went way too far for a long time.
Yeah, I know, mate. We all know that anyway.
We've got some.
That
We've got
got
a good
that all
question
got
in the
put
chat
to
here.
bed.
Oh, Max, how's Dario? You guys are still together, right?
Nah, legend. It's actually been nearly. I think it's been like fucking. I don't know. How long's it been, bruv? I got a new girlfriend now, Mariinsky. She got traded in. No, it was
We've got a rear.
Yeah, it was one of those flips. It was an SR flip. Support turns to resistance. But yeah, no, it was a while ago, mate. We broke up probably about a year or 2 years ago now. But yeah, I got new misses. I got Dariinsky. I was going to say Mariinsky. She's actually cooking me up some food right now. But yeah, we're not together. It was a situation of. It was a pretty mental situation. She accused me of cheating when I went down to the shop. You remember when I got my laptop? You remember, Pete? Remember I got my laptop? Was getting it fixed. I went to the fucking shop, and then apparently I smelled like perfume. Typical chick thing to do. And then we had a fuck off argument about it, and then it all got wrecked. So it's like, legends, not happening. New misses now. It's been a year or so. And let's jump back into Bill Murray, bro.
Yeah, check out this. This clip's not so bad. You were a bit lost on that last clip.
That's not what we started to teach, which was that every baby is, I don't know, let's not even put it on the birth certificate. That's what they wanted.
Were we teaching that?
Yes,
When were we teaching that?
Teaching it. It was a law here in California.
Ooh.
See,
He's saying how gender wasn't allowed to be put on the birth certificate.
Teach what?
Don't put sex on the birth certificate. We'll see. Now we've passed that period now. We're
I
like,
don't. I'm sorry, I don't remember that. I mean,
I know
my-
because it doesn't get in the blue sky bubble.
Wait a minute, I'm not just on blue sky.
I really think that's a lot of it. Is that some
Well-
of this stuff doesn't get in to everybody's media.
I'm of a mind because I remember the African American community was always saying there's brutality from the cops. Everyone said, "Oh, that's ridiculous. Stop it. This is all myth." And then cops started wearing body cameras, and lo and behold, there's all this footage of violence towards black people.
There was
so-
also a lot of footage of violence that they did on white people, but that didn't make it into videos. You see, nobody cared about that.
Well-
Not that it excuses the other.
I'm just saying, whenever
Yeah, that was actually a really good interview, that recent one. I love how he just smokes loads and drinks with his
Yeah, no, he loves it.
With his
He just
guests on the
gets
show.
blazed up and just chat shit. It's just the way it should be. He's a big weed guy as well. But yeah, no, it's so stupid, dude. Like there was literally like no sex on birth certificates, and then they also had it where you don't have to have any ID to vote. So all of the stuff that Elon was saying in his podcast the other day, where he was saying the strategy from the Democrats was to get as many illegal immigrants to come across the border as possible, because the only person that they would vote for would be Democrats, because obviously they're not going to vote for Trump, who's going to get them deported. So the whole thing was, it really does. I was like, I'm a bit skeptical, like really, were they genuinely trying to do that? But it makes sense. It's like, get fuckloads of immigrants to come over the border illegally. They shouldn't be allowed to vote, but if we have it so there's no ID of the voting, they'll all come in masses and vote illegally because they haven't got, you don't need to show ID. That means we'll get massive amounts of votes from all these new people coming in, which means it's not even possible for the opponent to win. And I think Elon even said, and I don't, this might be a little bit dramatic, but he was like, if Trump didn't win the last election, there would never have been a chance for a political opponent to beat the Democrats, because they just would have taken in so many fucking illegals, and they would all just vote for them perpetually every single time. But it's just fucking madness. Like, you literally have to have identification to buy cigarettes, beer. You need ID to do loads of shit you go to a nightclub. But apparently when you vote for the president, you don't need an identification card in New York and California, which is just completely nuts. It does sound like Labour, because it is like Labour, because Labour are doing the very similar thing. They just did this thing where they said that 16-year-olds can vote. And they know that younger people are usually more socialist in their ideologies, because young people don't own things yet. So if you're a very young person, you're more inclined to shift to the left, because you haven't had any time to build up your own assets, build up your own net worth, work hard for things which you own, and you're more inclined to probably vote for a left party. So very clever, let lots of boats come over. Oh no, we can't do anything about it. All young men. Bang. Let's reduce it to 16 to vote in England, and you're essentially just gonna. He just knows that younger people will vote for more left ideologied things, and like it always happens. It's like communists are always fucking 21-year-old kids. They literally are. Remember that guy who was calling me a fascist, Pete? 21 years old. The guy who shot fucking goddamn
Charlie Kirk.
The guy who shot Kirk in the neck, 21. The guy who tried to assassinate Trump the first time, 21.
Are you trying to say they all have to be 21?
No, I'm just saying that the reason Labour made it so you can vote, they're trying to make it so you can vote at 16 years old, is because they know that their predominant force of voting comes from younger individuals.
I have to show you guys what's happening with this.
I had to tell you what I can. Oh no! Wait, what's that? Is that the meat they're eating?
And yeah, this is quite an interesting clip for Fahad as well. This is American companies are using meat glue to save on costs. Meat glue binds scrap pieces of meat together so strongly that they look and cook like a single premium cut. Meat glue, also known as transglutaminase, I think that's said that right, is legal in all 50 states.
Transgender.
It's used in about 8 million pounds of meat every year in America. Yeah, have you heard of meat glue before?
I have seen this. I've seen I do follow the longevity stuff quite closely, and I've seen like way worse than this as well. Ones where they have like loads of food products that are essentially like, yeah, glued together. But that's fucking disgusting. This is like against like so much fucking stuff. This is disgusting.
Do you reckon you'd be able to tell if you had a steak and it had meat glue on it? I reckon some of them you really can't tell. Although with this,
I reckon it's quite difficult to tell, especially if you cooked it like, you've gone like meat. Probably hard to tell, but I would say that I've eaten a lot of premium Wagyu at my time, Pete. We've had a good run. We had a lot of premium, good silver fern New Zealand Wagyu steak in my time, and I do know what a premium fucking steak tastes like, and I would probably never ever buy that I try to buy organic and fucking grass fed anyway. I've got to the point now, actually, and this is not me trying to like. This is not an ego thing. This is just generally saying like you should genuinely just try and buy organic products. People will say in England, "Oh yeah, you're a posh, organic." It's like, bruv, like people used to fucking only eat organic food. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everything, like the de facto middle ground, be seen as healthy. Organic should just be the baseline, like natural food. Like it's got no shit in it. Like. That shouldn't be like, oh, I ate something organic once this week, so I'm on the healthy side. You need to get to this. You need to get to the level where you're not thinking about this week I ate something healthy, so I'm being healthy. It should be this week I ate something unhealthy, and it was my one unhealthy thing I ate. You should be on the level where you're trying to eat as healthy as possible, because otherwise you're just gonna fucking end up with diabetes and fucking dementia or just like fucking arthritis. I don't know. There's so much illness today. And it's almost like humans put it on themselves. We've been talking about this, Pete. I need to get you on a little routine. I'm gonna come to England and we're gonna get you on a health hype. We're gonna be in the gym doing saunas, fucking cold plunges. We're gonna be eating grass-fed steaks, some fucking Corella powders, M&M.
Does anyone here remember the UK banned imports of beef? I don't remember that. Do you remember that?
It sounds like a fucking... But I don't remember that. I don't think that happened. I think that's probably a little bit of like news BS out there. But wait. Let me go back to that fucking point about this whole fucking thing with America and the voting thing. Because... I don't know. Like, I'm always like... I always sit on the side of skepticism when it comes to conspiracy. And I know that a lot of conspiracies actually have come completely true, and hats off to all the dudes who were banging on about these things for years who actually became correct on what they said. The only issue I have is that you usually find people who are into conspiracies are a conspiracy theorist about everything. But then you're just like, well, the probability of everything being a conspiracy is 0, so what are you actually doing? Like, you're just getting lucky. But I would say that people who did say the whole thing about the government in America are trying to just get lots of people over the border to then get them to vote democratically on the Democrat side, because they would just have them vote in California and New York without ID. That actually, to me, is probably rings true now. And I don't want to go as far as Labour, but because I don't know if Starmer's really thought about that process. Do you really think Starmer's with his team going, right, let's make sure we have as many boats come over as possible, and then they're all young men, so what we'll do is we'll make it so they can vote at 16. I don't know if he's really doing that, but the whole 16-year-old vote's fucking ridiculous anyway. What do you think about that? Because you can't even buy an energy drink in England at 16.
Yeah,
like, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Starmer's announced today that he'll lead Labour into the next election.
Mate, if he, that's great.
That's great. Well,
if he does that, Farage is in, bruv. Like, he's absolutely hated by even his own party, and that's why Reform have done so well, because so many Labour MPs are moving over. I don't know how many need to move over before Starmer's pushed into a corner where he has to do a general election, but I know for a fact, and we all know this, that the general election doesn't have to happen in 3 years. It can happen earlier. Yeah. I don't know what kind of pressure needs to be put on the Labour Party. I think it probably has to be something like this. Enough of the Labour MPs and the constituents actually move and they say, I actually don't agree with Labour anymore and I'm going to move to Reform.
Yeah, I think there's just a no confidence vote.
Yeah. That would be, I think, honestly, if there was going to be a time where there would be some sort of vote like that, where the general election would happen earlier, it would be this time. Because there's even social media that they haven't got right, Labour. Like, the thing about Farage's team, they're just nailing it on social media. He's got 7 million followers, Farage, over his social media accounts. And it's just mental. Like, what's Starmer got? He's probably got 1 or maybe even less. How many fucking people has Starmer got on his Instagram, on his Twitter?
Do you remember the guy that threw him out of the pub?
Yeah. You are not coming in my pub.
I swear that was in Bath or something. And someone's just commented on the beef being banned as well.
He's got 2 million on Twitter. But Farage got 7 million. And he's getting fucking so much stuff on. I think people are just so sick of these like horrible, slimy marketing campaigns as well. It's just all crap. Like, you just have to be a real person today. Like, that's why live streaming's kicking off. That's why people aren't resonating with big corporates anymore. People don't buy products on the basis of a brand name. They buy product on the basis of someone who spoke about it. Like, a lot of companies these days have been born out of the premise of an influencer. Like, look at Prime. Like, Prime, that drink, would never have happened without the personal brands of Logan Paul and KSI. So it's like, there are so many companies now which are just built on the...
I remember the height of that, and literally my cousins were going around everywhere trying to get it for the...
Yeah, all the kids were loving it.
And it was like sold out, and there was people were reselling it and stuff, like putting a markup on it, and it was just absolutely mental.
It was mental.
I think it was just because a lot of kids wanted to put it on their Snapchat, like them with a little Prime and stuff, and then it was getting resold in school playgrounds and stuff. Hey, did you ever have like a little business?
Never drank one.
No, did you? Yeah, but did you have a little business hustle in school? Like, were you selling anything?
Bro, I got expelled from a school for doing this. Like, this is my whole game. Like, I would, dude. If you want to talk about the kid
what sort of racket did you have running?
Bro, listen to me. If you want to talk about that kid who always had a little business on the side, making some cashish at school, that was me. I was literally selling everything. I went to India. I had like a distribution line from India importing cigarettes at one point.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was importing cigarettes, but unbelievably cheap. Like, we're talking, I can't remember the exact numbers, it was years ago. The funny thing is, I used to sell these small packets of cigarettes at school, and they were from India, and everyone knew they were from India, and it was hilarious because like a few of the batches came over a little bit dodgy and they stunk like fish, and I got kind of known for the dude selling the smelly fish cigarettes. It was fucking hilarious. Like, mate, these ones taste a bit off, bro. And I was just like, no, it's just like India, that's how it is. And they stunk of fish. It was weird as. But I used to sell cigarettes. I used to sell alcohol. I basically got expelled from a school for doing that. I sold alcohol to a younger year, and they went fucking mental. Absolutely blasted me. And I just got thrown out. And then I had one scenario where, this is actually a hilarious story, and this was a complete joke. There was a kid at our school who got me and my friend Jack suspended. No. We got suspended because of what we did to him. No. What happened is, this guy called Harry Broomfield, he's not watching, so this is years ago, he dobbed me, and so he told a teacher about what me and Jack did, and we got like some hectic detention or something. We got like this thing where we had to do a thing at school where we had to run in our break up and down this thing. So we weren't just fucked. We had to like actually do.
Oh, you had to do laps like
mate,
drill sergeant.
Yeah.
Style.
We genuinely got wrecked. Like, we had to and we got put on this thing where in our free time we had to sign in with a teacher every 30 minutes. Bro, and this was at boarding school, so I'm talking when we had to live at the school. So we had no free time. We had to run up and down this thing in our free time. So we literally got court-martialed, fucked for no reason. He could never have dobbed us in. He was just being a fucking fruit. So he went home for holiday or something, and me and Jack, because we got done for, they said that we stole it, but we didn't steal it off him. He had a broken laptop which he used to use. So what we did is we got the laptop and we unscrewed it, and we dismantled all of the pieces of the laptop. And we started selling pieces of the laptop to different people, because at school everyone had the same computer. It was like an Apple Mac computer, and some people would lose keys, so their keys would go missing or fall off. And then what we'd do is we'd sell the keys from his laptop to them. Mate, we had a whole fucking heist going on, and then we sold all of it. We got back, and then we put the shell of his laptop back there. So when he got back, he'd go to his laptop, and it was already fucked anyway. It's not that we stole it. When he got back to his laptop, he'd open it, and it would just be like a shell with nothing in it. And then what happened is he got back, he saw that we did that, and then he told the teacher again, and then me and Jack got suspended, and actually that led to me being expelled. So the whole thing was a clusterfuck. But yeah, I had a few little schemes, bro. I always had a scheme. There were some other schemes that I won't mention on stream, which were a little bit more, you know.
Someone's just put a little scheme that JD Vance has been doing, apparently. So JD Vance literally invested in a corporation that buys up small farms when they go bankrupt for pennies on the dollar, of course. And then the administration, they've proceeded to bankrupt a lot of small farms. I didn't know about that. I'll have to look that up. Someone else is saying they imported as well in school, but from Mexico.
Yeah, mine were from India, because I remember I went to New Delhi and Jaipur and everything. I brought back fuckloads, because there was actually a legal limit you could bring back at one point. But then I had someone that my dad was my mum was friends with someone, and they used to buy them for me and then send them over. I was just flogging them at school. And then I was, bro, the NOS canisters. Oh, mate, that's a whole nother fucking kettle of fish. Me, Sam, and like two of my three. It was actually like three of us. We basically bought. You don't remember NOS? Remember NOS canisters?
Yeah, whipped cream stuff.
Whipped cream shit. Yeah. So we did like a whole summer where we broke in without tickets to like 5 different festivals. We did Glastonbury, Reading, Godsplash, Lavatory. We even did one down in like the Isle of Wight. And what we would do is, this is when we were literally like 16 or 15 or some shit. We would basically buy like literally 700, 800 pounds worth of NOS canisters. And then we'd get into the festivals for free. And we had these little crackers. So we didn't use the whole spray one where you put the balloon on it and go like that and fill the whole thing up. We had these small ones, these little, you go like that and you crack them and it goes and it fills the balloon up instantly, so you could like real churn them out like a little factory. That's why I got a scar here on my finger, because I did it so many times it actually like burnt the skin off my finger and it never recovered properly. And bro, oh mate, like I had a little fanny pack, gayest name ever for a bag, but it was a fanny pack and it was just filled with cash, bro. At one festival, I did like £2,500, and then my friend had about £2,000, and his one got nicked. It was hectic as fuck, because at that point, that money we made would actually like get us through the fucking summer holidays. So I was literally just in a festival. It was something crazy, mate. The amount of money we were making, it was like 2 for a tenner, 3 for £12.50 or something. But then it was so funny. There was at one point where I was at this festival, and these chicks, for a joke, we were like, yeah, it's 2 for a tenner, 3 for 20. And the chicks wouldn't understand it, and they would give us 20 quid for 3. We'd be like, oh, we're making even more fucking money. It was so funny, bro. That was such a good time. That era of just having no cash and just breaking into festivals at like 15, 16 and selling NOS canisters was so fun. That was the good.
Oh man, I didn't realize I'd muted myself, but I've been saying stuff now and again. John Carey's here in the chat trying to get us back on topic. Considering gold is topping out, what commodities or sectors do you think look good in the next 6 months? Lithium, platinum, palladium? I'm not too sure, really.
Someone was saying copper, wasn't there? There was a good copper chart. Copper.
Yeah, yesterday we talked about copper.
I haven't dived into the deep analysis on copper, but there seems to be a pretty nice trade on copper. Silver, even, I still think has a run, guys. Like, silver's still good. Let me get silver up. It's got it here. Silver, I still think, is going to do well because of this. This is normal price of silver. The all-time high back in 2011. The same when gold hit its 2011 highs. It all just rallied then. But silver right now hasn't done anything above a measured move. You got to remember, gold is double the price right now. So essentially, if you had bought, let me get my, I'm on the right chart, one sec. So gold has doubled since 2011. So you're looking at, yeah, literally 150% gain from 2011. Silver is nowhere near that. And I think silver historically does more. So I think silver, when gold really does top out, so when gold does something like this, it's going to take a while for gold to top, by the way. So it's going to take a year of it potentially doing something like this and then like that, and then it will come back, similar to here. That was a year, that's 18 months. It'll probably take 18 months. In this period of time, silver's going to be it's going to start rocket shipping because everyone's going to actually be exiting gold into silver. So for instance, when Bitcoin goes up, when Bitcoin tops, altcoins begin to pop like Ethereum because people are actually selling Bitcoin into Ethereum to get out of Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin tops and then Ethereum pops. It's very similar to what I think is going to happen to silver. I think silver will actually probably do more than 130% in its parabolic phase. So I think silver in itself, I know it's gone up a little bit, but it's nothing in comparison to what gold's done. But people are going to sell their gold into silver, of course, because that's what always happens. If you look at, you can literally look at like historical receipts of people transacting gold for silver for thousands of years. Like this is always going to happen. There's a silver to gold ratio, the gold to silver ratio. So I think silver's good. I think you're right. I think the platinum and palladium plays are going to be nice. Why is that up there? One sec. Let me see what this indicator is. I'm going to delete that actually. Get rid of that. It's in the way.
Good comment in the chat here as well. I've seen some mining data that suggests copper could spike in price as it is getting rarer.
Yeah, well, I think there's the issue is the dynamic between the amount of it being used as money and it's not, and its amount of usage in industry. You got to be careful because gold's great for store of value because gold is the stock to flow of gold is ridiculous. It's essentially only used as money, and everyone's like, no, but it's used as jewelry. It's like, well, that's store of value for your money. The reason kings and queens use gold as jewelry is to show off their money. For thousands of years, the reason gold is used to decorate your house and show off and all these things is not because, oh, it looks nice. It's because you're showing off your wealth, because gold used to be money for thousands of years. So if your fucking gun is made out of gold, you're essentially articulating the fact that you kill them and you're rich because the gun is made of money. So like that's why. But things like copper and palladium and platinum, it's very difficult to like know exactly what the circulating supply is, how much is in industry, how much has been hoarded, what the stock to flow is. And actually, we know what the stock to flow is. It's not very good. So I'd just be careful. But there will be a pop. Let's have a look at platinum then.
Do you know what's funny? I've seen videos of, EV fast charging stations for electric vehicles.
Yeah.
They've often got like big plugs and like wires and stuff. You go and like plug your car in, but people are literally sawing off the wire, the connectors, like the wires, and robbing them because they've got so much copper in them and other stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is platinum. It's already had a pretty significant move. You're already getting something on a few of these. You just got to cycle through the charts. Like this is already up 100%. Doesn't mean it can't go further, but this is definitely an outlier from its history on this chart specifically. Let's look at the copper chart just in flat price. Copper futures, that's probably MCX. So copper has, look at the price of copper, mate. It's going for it. It's been going for it for a while, legends. This is on a newer exchange, though. It's only been trading since about 2015. But yeah, copper's up. You'll have to get historical price data from further back to really gauge where it is in comparison to its past. Just trying to find a good... Let's have a look at what we get here. This will probably be longer. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, copper's going. The thing is about copper, like exactly my point is like it's difficult to know exactly what the stock to flow is. So like how much of this is just because, yeah, copper's being used in industry. What's that relationship between the price? With gold, it's much more easy to understand that 99% of it is used as money. So you understand that. Everyone thinks that gold's like massively used in industry. It's really not. And if there is gold used in industry, it's literally such a tiny weight. And gold is extremely dense as well. So you only need a very small amount of gold for it to weigh a lot. Like, I can't remember the exact analogy or the exact graph I saw, but I think a kilogram of gold, you can hold it in a bar this big. So a kilogram of gold is this big, but a kilogram of silver is like 20 times more silver because of the density of it. So gold is like extremely heavy for a smaller amount of surface area, so it's like more dense. And then silver, I think actually you can don't quote me, but look on ChatGPT. I think there's roughly the same amount of gold and silver in the world. In terms of weight, I think it's about 170,000 tons of gold in the world, but I think there's only about 200 and something odd thousand tons of silver, or maybe 220,000 tons of silver. So the amount, if you put gold together and silver together, the weight would be quite similar, but because of the density difference, silver is everywhere because it's so much lighter. So 200,000 tons of silver is like a football pitch worth, but 200,000 tons of gold is like essentially, I think it's only 9 Olympic swimming pools. So if you fill up 9 Olympic swimming pools of gold, that's all the gold in the world. So it's such a heavy thing, and it's like pretty interesting that, because that also bodes well for it being used as a store of value in historical terms, because if you want to hold a significant amount of wealth, it would be really difficult to do it in silver because of the nature of the size of the amount of silver. Imagine trying to walk around with an elephant, like let's just say the size of an elephant in silver. You could have the same amount of value in probably, this is a crazy analogy, but the elephant is silver. For the same amount of value, you'd probably have a dog of gold. And that is mental the way I've managed to articulate that point across to you guys. But I'm just saying that, yeah, silver's much lighter. That was sick. In my head, it was perfect. And then I was chatting about elephants and dogs, and it all went mad. That was lit.
We've got someone calling you boss, asking for a prediction on how low Chainlink could go if we enter the bear market. And he called you boss at the end, so you got to answer.
Yeah, if you're throwing out the boss line, we'll chat. Let me just refresh my indicator. I need to get something to eat halfway through stream. I'm kind of like petering out in energy. I've been fasting all day. It's 10 p.m. for me.
Apparently, we've been cutting out a little bit as well.
What?
Yeah, some people have been saying, has the stream been cutting out for anyone else? Someone else said, yeah, it was cutting out.
Really? Maybe it's
lower.
What if I got it on 100? I got it on 15,000 KBs. Drop frames. It says 0. It says 119 frames have been dropped. Really? I think that might just be one of those things where the guy's like just trying to get a little bit of a.
Well, it's two different people, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Right, let's get chain
vessels in the waters near Taiwan, while China strongly protests, claiming it threatens regional security. The situation reaches a breaking point when China launches an attack on Japan's fleet as a warning. Instantly, war erupts. Japan's warships, supported by the United States, quickly move toward China's coastline. China responds with intense airstrikes, but they fail to stop Japan and its allies from landing troops on the mainland. Soon after, U.S. strike fighters and bombers launched devastating attacks, clearing the way for ground forces to advance deeper into Chinese territory. At this point, Russia and North Korea are forced to join the conflict to support their ally,
a little bit
pushing the tension into an even larger regional war. Facing
Yeah, bro, this video is actually mad. So, what were you saying? I didn't even hear you.
I was just saying it's a little bit speculative. It was just like saying, oh yeah, you know, if I can, Russia would just randomly join in.
Oh yeah, I know. Man, just as you were answering, I didn't understand. My video crashed. All right, well maybe it's crashed for a few people. It seems pretty stable now.
What I can do, I can just do this. I can do output. I can just reduce it to like, because sometimes if you have the KPS too high, it fucks it. I got it on 12,000, which is crazy now. I don't know. It doesn't really seem to be that bad. But yeah, no. Someone says it might be something to do with the DNS shit. What was he saying? Chainlink.
Yeah, how low could Chainlink go if we enter the bear market?
Guys, if Bitcoin goes, if that was the top for Bitcoin, altcoins are literally going to go down to like the lows of the prior cycle. So yeah, it will likely go down to probably back below $10. If Bitcoin is starting its next bear market, then yeah, it's probably going to go back down to below 10. Because if you look at any cycle, whatever Bitcoin does in percentage, altcoins usually either match that or do more. So yeah, if Bitcoin goes to a bear market, a lot of altcoins are really going to bleed. Oh yeah. If you held altcoins this cycle, what would you do? Wait, if you held alts all this cycle, what would you do now? Asking for a friend. It's one of those questions I get a lot, obviously. The thing is, it's not a simple answer because I always have the answer, which I always tell everyone, is that I don't just play one strategy at the same time. So I have 4 things that I do. One thing is DCA, which means I buy regardless. I buy every day. So whatever the thing is, I'm buying it every day. DCA for long term. And Bitcoin's a good way to do that because it's the least risk out of the whole crypto market. Then you have swing trading, which I actually use a bot for at this point, which is my Hodl Bot. Then you have the low time frame, high velocity, high probability setup scalp trades, which is 25%. That's the third thing. And then you have investments, which you don't ever sell. Because investors aren't looking to sell. Investors are looking to buy something and hold it for the long term. And if you're right with your investment, it either goes to the absolute moon or nothing. If you invest in something, you have to be completely comfortable with your investment going to zero. Because if you're investing, you're not looking at the price action and you don't have a stop loss in a lot of cases because you're not using an exchange. So you could say to yourself, well, I've invested in this, but if it goes below this price, I'll sell everything. But the problem with that is that when the moment is right to sell is usually when everyone else is trying to sell. So you're probably not going to be able to do it. You might not be at the computer, you might not be there, you might not have any time, you might be doing something else, or it might go lower than that level anyway. Because what you find out in life, and I think most of us would agree, is that everyone does everything at the last minute. Everyone does that. So if you do things that are not at the last minute, that puts you in a category of probably having a higher probability chance of not losing or being bad at anything in life. But most people de facto, because it's hard to do things before you really need to, because that takes effort. So if you're gonna, for instance, write an essay for your teacher and you have to hand it in 3 weeks, it's unlikely that you'll do it 3 weeks early. You'll probably do it the night before, which is what most people do in life. So like everyone does everything at the last minute, and the same thing happens in trading and it happens in markets. Usually what happens is everybody waits to sell their bag at the last minute, and then everyone does do it at the last minute, and then you get an absolute cascade, and then you've missed your fucking thing anyway. So all I'm saying is try and do some things in your trading strategy which are before the thing happens in the first place. So just try and plan ahead of the shit which is going to happen, because when it actually happens, it's going to be too fucking late. That's why I'm DCAing, I'm swing trading, I'm doing low time frame trading, and also investments. Do all of them at the same time. So it's very difficult for me to say, oh, if you just held all your altcoins to this whole cycle, what would you do now? Well, I would be doing those 4 things for that altcoin. That's what I do. I actually don't invest in lots of altcoins at the moment, though. I just predominantly trade Bitcoin, and that's done me well. And I'm not going to... I have investments, though, in altcoins from prior cycles, but they're investments, so I'm happy for them to die. Guys, I've rode some investments up to the moon and to zero. Ultra was a good example. At one point, I had like $400,000 in Ultra. I literally didn't sell any, guys. It was an investment. I made an investment in it, and I was like, if it realizes its vision, I'll make millions of dollars. But it was an investment, and I held on to all of that investment. I still haven't sold any of it. I've actually still got some. But the funny thing is with something like Ultra, if I have a big investment in it, it may have gone up to $400,000, but I still own those tokens in this example for Ultra. What will probably happen, though, in the future, and I can probably bet at some point in the future, it might take a long time, but at some point in the future, there is going to be another big craze in gaming. So for me, I might not have... It was an investment, but the investment isn't lost yet because I still own the tokens. And if in the future there is a huge gaming craze, you can bet your bottom dollar that things like Engine Coin and Ultra and all the gaming tokens we had, they're all going to go fucking parabolic again because they've all gone to zero. So the further something goes down, the less amount of money you need for the price to be significantly impacted by a smaller amount of money, which means that at the moment, if $1 million went into Ultra tomorrow, the price would go up 300%. And then it would go down to make a higher low, and then all the traders would jump back on, and then it would just be a massive fucking bull market. So, yeah, if you're investing in altcoins, it just depends on what you're doing. If you've invested in these altcoins, and you have a 5 to 10 year horizon in front of you, you have to make that decision when you buy it. Otherwise, you're waiting until the last minute. It's just one of those things. You just have to make the decision. So it's like a lower time frame scalp trade. You have your entry, you have your exit, and you have your stop and your risk. You never change it. That's your trade. Let it play out. You prepared for the future. Let it play out. Don't go in and change it and fiddle around with it and move your stop loss, all that kind of shit. You're just going to fuck yourself over. You just have to basically plan ahead. And I would say DCA, swing trading, scalp trading, and investing. And that's all I do. Because otherwise you're putting too much manual input into the process. And I've done it all myself, guys. I've done it all myself. I've literally made all the mistakes and lost money, made money, and then tried to like trade back my money. It's just stupid. You just have to basically build your system and just do it every day. And I do it every day. I have an automatic buy every day. And then I have my swing trading strategy, which is my bot, 25%. And then I have my scalp trading, which would be, an example would be the last long I did at 94, which got stopped out. And then my investments, I'm just holding on to them because, yeah, if the price goes to zero, fine. I lost that investment. But with investing, it's more about you're spreading out. So say you have a medium, so you have $1 million. With investing, what you're doing is you're just like spreading the bets over a certain amount of things. So if loads of them lose, the more you bet on, the more chance you have that one really wins. It'd be similar to like the dot-com bubble. Like if you invested in internet stocks, all you needed to do was get one right, and that could have been Amazon or Google. I don't think Google actually was around in .com. I'm not sure. Maybe it was. I can't remember. But Amazon definitely was. And that's all of the other fucking .com stocks went to zero, and all the fucking pets.com and all these other ones and fucking this and that. They all fucking went to zero. But if you had just invested in the .com era and you had to just managed to pick Amazon, today you'd be up, I think it's like at least 50x. We can check right now. Shall we look at an inflation-adjusted chart of Amazon and see what's going on? That would be an interesting chart. I'm going to bring up a brand new one. Let's look at the linear price of Amazon. If it's going to load, young Squire and Sir and Sirette. You still there, Petey? Pete?
I'm still floating around, bro.
You're still about. So let's have a look at Amazon on the Nasdaq. It might not have been on the Nasdaq though that far ago. Far ago. So we have to go back to 2000, but I don't know if it would have been on the Nasdaq in the 2000s. Get rid of the volume on this. It looks no. So yeah, no, it was trading on the Nasdaq. So here is Legends. This was .com for Amazon. So during the run-up of the dot-com bubble, it went up 4,200%. So if you had bought Amazon in the days where fucking Bezos was really skinny, looking like a little freak in his office, building the Amazon infrastructure and building the company, if you had got in from the ground running, if you got in the seed and the pre-fucking rounds, you had a pretty good run during .com, 5,000% up. But yeah, the .com bubble took Amazon back to when it burst. It took Amazon down 95%. So Amazon went up 5,000% and lost 96% of its value. But let's just say this. If you invested in it, you would not have tried to have traded, because investors aren't traders. They're just investors, okay? So if you had held on to that thing which you bought, even if you bought the highs of the .com bubble and invested in it, today, okay, there's two different ways you can obviously, like, this is crazy, but like, let's try and do a price. This is going to be nuts. So if you had bought the top of the .com bubble as an investment, today you'd be up 4,600%, so 46x. If you had bought the bottom of the .com bubble, where it actually all nuked, and this is very, very vague, you'd be up 59,000%. So if you had bought the highs of .com, when it went up 5,000, you'd be up 5,000. So let's just say on average, most people averaged in on their .com stocks here. I got to do a lot of zooming. Wait, let me. Oh god, it's difficult to. Let me actually. I'm gonna have to do it like this. So let's just say you averaged in at the midway point of the .com bubble on Amazon. I'm gonna have to zoom out now and really extend this out. It's gonna take a couple clicks because it's a little bit of a wamp chart. Fucking hell. So yeah, if you bought the average of the .com bubble, today you'd be up 110x. So you're up 11,000%. If you had bought the middle of the .com bubble, and then 25 years on, you would be up 100x. The funny thing is, I got 100x out of Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin at $600. I got 100x out of that when it went to 60,000, and that was in fucking. That's at like 6 years. So Bitcoin is really crazy, the speed of it went up. So my point to you is this. I bought Ultra, right? I bought loads of Ultra. I actually was the first 100 token holders in the world on this project. I got in extremely early. They actually paid me in some of their tokens to do some marketing for them. And also I brought people into their team when I was in the decentralized application space. I actually connected lots of people to Ultra to work in it, because it's actually built on ESIO. It's still ESIO software which runs the network. And my point is this. I got in very early. My investment in Ultra went up to $400,000 in US dollars value. It's now gone back down to, I think I checked the other day, 50,000 is in there. So I got 50 grand in Ultra still. But in the same way, okay, imagine if Ultra did become, which is obviously unlikely, because it was unlikely that Amazon was going to do it, but imagine if Ultra did become in the future a massive, incredible gaming company, which actually was one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. I would look back and think to myself, well, yeah, it went up to $400,000 and then back down to 50. But now it's at fucking 4, 5, maybe 10, 15 million dollars. I would look back at it and think, well, that was lucky that I didn't take the 400k, because I wouldn't have got back in, because it was an investment. I would have bought and sold. I could have reinvested, but that's another decision. And then you more decisions. I'm just saying, like, the more decisions you make, the more probability you have to make a mistake. So I'm saying that's what you have to do if you're an investor. You have to say to yourself, I'm buying an altcoin, and I've got a long-term vision on that altcoin. You can set in your mind some parameters of, okay, if it does this, then I'll get out. Let's just say the team exit the project. But the thing is, it's going to be too late anyway, because the team's going to fucking put a message out on Twitter saying, we're leaving the project, and then it goes to zero. So, like, I'm just saying, if you've invested in altcoins, you have to understand that things can go down 90%. But in the long term, like Amazon is a great example, you know, there would have been a lot of people, I guarantee you this is what happens to a lot of people. There would have been traders and investors who got into Amazon just at the beginning of the .com bubble, and then they sold at a good level. So they were like, yeah, you know, they got it at .com. I guarantee there'll be people out there because a lot of people got into Amazon. So say they bought the first high and then they made 100%. Sorry, that would be 1,000%, which is 10x. There would have been loads of people who would have bought Amazon back in 2000 and then sold out for 5x, 6x, and been like, yeah, cashed in. A lot of those people would never have got back in. And there will always be that person saying, fucking hell, man, if I had to hold on to my Amazon, I'd be financially free. If I had to hold on to my Amazon, I would have been rich. But that's because like investors are, if you're an investor, you have to think long term. But if you're going to think long term, you have to be able to hold long term. That's one of the hardest things to do. There's a lot of people even in Bitcoin. All those people who bought, you know, there's always a story, and Pete, you probably heard it a million times. There's always a dude in the pub who's like, yeah, I bought Bitcoin when it was at $4. Fucking hell, should have held on to that. It's just like, well, you didn't. Because if you're investing in something, you have to think long term. And the evidence is here with Amazon, for instance. But I would say another way of looking at it, so investing, but then if you are trading it, then you need to become a trader. And trading is different to investing in so many different ways. So I'm kind of rambling on with this question, but it's just, I get this question, but I can't really tell you, what would you do if you're holding altcoins? Well, I'll just be doing what I'm doing now. And some of those altcoins would be investments. And you could even do this, take one altcoin and then break that altcoin down into certain things. So, well, you put $1,000 into Link. Just say, okay, well, 25% is invested in it. 25% I'm going to trade. 25% I'm going to like maybe hedge short against the highs. And then, yeah, the rest is in the investment side. So it's difficult to... I just can't believe Amazon, like the .com bubble was that. It'd be really interesting to see this chart to M2 Money S. So let me just do this. Let's have a look at the value. Amazon / M2SL. This is taking into account inflation. Let me try again. I may have done a... Because it might be WM2SL. No, it's not going to work. So you might have to do... That might work now. No. I'm trying to get an inflation adjusted chart of Amazon. Wait, do a ChatGPT on it.
See what it says.
No, M2SL. There must be a ticker for it. Oh, it's working. Oh shit, it worked. Why did it work that time? This is a fucking... What, mate? Was that 2008? No, 2022. So I've managed to bring something absolutely nuts up at the minute. Ask Chat. I'll do it now.
Just been looking at trying to find some new Sora videos. AI videos, some of them are fucking mental.
See if Chat knows what it's on about. ChatGPT. Oh, that's so shit. Yeah, I'll have to fiddle around with this because you have to put the normal... You have to go into PineScript and fiddle around with it. Yeah, because usually M2SL works. This is just the normal NASDAQ chart one right now. Let me just go back. So you have to go into Pine. PineScript, sires and sirs and siretus. No, this is the right chart. I don't want to add this. Pine editor. You probably can't see what I'm doing right now. You need to get... Yeah, it's not going to work. Let's see if ChatGPT can make me one. That'd be interesting.
Like, get the devs on the phone.
Yeah.
Let's call up some devs.
Call up the Deverunientes.
They're all busy with Cloudflare at the minute.
Let's have a look if it gets it right. Just writing the Pine script code now. Yeah, Fred, nice. It's taking the right data for sure. Taking the right data, Aruniente, young squire. Add to chart. Well, that's because I did something wrong. One sec. What? It's doing an EMA trend fucking indicator. What the fuck? No, Squire. No. Anyway, doing some troubleshooting right here on the old Streameroonie. It's probably because there's a slight bit off at the end. And why is it coming up with MDX signals EMA trend? I don't know why it won't give me... Yeah, let's do that. I think I know why. Yeah. I hacked the system, bro. We got it.
Are we back?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, so the price, because I went from the lows, let's go from the high as well, because we know exactly what it was. Interesting. Okay, so from that brief little bit of analysis, so basically on a non-inflation adjusted chart, from the low after the dot-com bubble, it said that the price had gone up 50x. We also, from the prior chart we just did, from the highs of the dot-com bubble, it said it went up around, it was about 5,000%, wasn't it? 50x. And the other one, yeah, 50. So now, when you go from the highs, on inflation adjusted, it went up 800%. So if you go from the highs of the dot-com bubble to where we are today, 8x in value. Okay? Price obviously went more than 8x. But the value, if you take Amazon, because I was basically putting in the ticker, I was putting in the whole spelling Amazon, but actually you need to put in AMZA, which is the ticker symbol, / M2SL, which is called M2 Money Stock, Federal Reserve Fred. So if you type in AMZA / M2SL, and you can do W as well. I can't remember exactly what W does now. W is not correct. But you can look at it another way. But you can. Could you do M1? M1 they haven't got. Oh shit. Because M1's taken into account different metrics. Let's see. Yeah, so you guys can do this at home. But yeah, you can see that there's a big difference. Whoa, what the fuck is going on here now? No. Sir. Sir. I want that exact ticker. I'm freaking out. Trading View. But yeah, so basically from, yeah, if you had a bought, and let's do the mid-range. So if you had a bought the mid-range, which was exactly here, you would be up today 2,000%. so 20x if you had bought the mid-range of the dot-com bubble, but it was actually 50x on the price chart. So what you're seeing is that you didn't make, because Amazon obviously has risen in price significantly, but you didn't make 50 times the value. You actually made 20 times the value, because you got to take into account there's a fuckload more dollars today in circulating supply. So yeah, it's quite interesting. You should, I think, every single time, guys, you look at a chart, Bitcoin, it's very interesting how it doesn't actually correlate very well with it, M2SL, and I think it's just because the size of the market's very small. But you should always be taking into account, Nike will be another good one, but it's NKE/M2SL. And this is why I've been buying a lot of Nike, guys, because the value of Nike is significantly lower. It's really come back. Like, we're looking at levels, 2012 levels. So on a price chart of Nike, it's come back down to 2017. So we're here. We're actually at the same price levels at 2017. But if you take Nike and you do inflation adjusted, we're actually back at levels coming into 2012. And 2012 was basically when Bitcoin was incepted. So we're looking at, I think Nike is a really nice buy. And also we're at macro support on inflation adjusted as well when it comes down to the swing high of 1997, even before .com. So is that right? Wow. How long has Nike been around for? Yeah, the .com bubble really didn't affect Nike at all. It just had a significant nuke during the period. But yeah, no, yeah. So what I'm trying to articulate here, if you're watching, is just you should always be looking at inflation adjusted charts as well as the price chart, especially in today's world where we have fucking governments printing more currency than the previous 90 years and 90 days in 2008. NVIDIA. So I think NVIDIA is a relatively... So let's go back to the .com bubble.
How long has it been around for?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, it was around. It was trading on the NASDAQ during the .com bubble. It had a pretty nice rally, but it really got nuked. Fuck, it had no retest either. That is a significant nuke. Like, for price action traders, this is one of the worst scenarios you can be in, because your long until proven otherwise. But in this specific scenario, you really didn't have much choice to re-enter the head short. You did have a few here, but a very, very, very quick move down. So let's do this. And again, it's NVDA/M2SL. Let's see where the value lies on this. Yeah, .com was here. Not much change in terms of M2SL. But yeah, it's still, obviously, it's significantly risen in value, but I'm not sure we're really getting an accurate representation right now. No, bruh. Yeah, so you actually have to put the full name in. Yeah, NIV would have been a nice investment, .com. If you had bought the lows afterwards, bloody hell. That's a crazy, crazy uptick. But again, like, 25 years. Like, if you had to invest, like, literally, like, it's crazy to think that in the .com bubble, everyone thought it was the most severe crash ever in history. The Great Recession was worse than it in terms of value. But if you had have invested in stocks and shares in the .com bubble and just held for 25 years, you would be significantly fucking up now. But it took so long for it to happen. Anyway, we've been streaming for a while, haven't we, Leggy? 2 hours. I think we call it, bro.
Well, we need to mention one bit about GTA before we go.
Yeah, what's going on with it? Oh, yeah, they're going to have gay parades in it.
So going to have pride parades and queer representation. But some people are saying it'll probably be like where you put your mouse over them and you can't actually pull the trigger. I could just see them getting in lots of trouble with people clipping, like mowing down a whole pride parade and stuff.
Yeah, but like, think about all the games where you're like horror games and games where you're literally like killing people and like fucking Battlefield, blasting people with sniper rifles.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Oh, so
mate, you can kill
what's the
prozzies.
name
You
of
can kill prozzies in GTA. Like, you can go up and blast them up. Like, why wouldn't you be able to kill gay people?
Sex workers, yeah.
We need to have it in the world where we have equality. And if you can kill a prostitute, why can't you kill a gay person?
I think you have to say sex worker these days, mate, not prostitute.
What, a prozzy? I can't say prozzy, hoe, brass.
No, none of this stuff. It has to be sex worker now.
Yeah, I don't believe in fascism, so I'll say what I fucking want. I believe in libertarianism. I'm a free individual. I can say what I want whenever I want because I believe in freedom of speech. And if you're trying to tell me that I can't say a word, I'll just say it more.
I'm gonna call the police on you. What was the name of your favorite beer?
Oh, bruv, the Weinsteinfänger.
Yeah, someone in the chat.
Actually, it's not even Weinsteinfänger. I'm not saying it correctly.
Right in the chat for Lucy as well.
It's wine.
At resistance.
It's Weinenstefener. I'll try and spell it for you. Weinenstef.
I reckon if you just say it into ChatGPT, it will come up with it.
I just put it in the chat. That's not the right spelling, but it looks like that. You know when it's not the right spelling, but it kind of looks similar?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Have a look at this. So
that does actually look all right.
But it will come up now. If I got it right, I did that off the complete top of my... Oh, mate, I'm a fucking genius. Bruv, that's how ingrained this beer is in my mind. I actually spelt that perfectly. That was muscle memory, bruv. That's how you spell it. I got it bang on.
One last look at the chart and then dip out.
Bro, why did you just make me laugh with your comments? Dips. One more little chart. Let's dip out.
One last little scan of the chart and then we'll get out.
Let me talk about Botmaster, guys. Get on the wait list to Botmaster. I'm about to release a brand new product called Botmaster here. Get onto the waitlist. The waitlist is in the description below, and we have an army, a team of people consistently finding you the best settings for trading bots to use. Plug and play one button. You can click one button, and you can get a trading bot working for you on your exchanges. So definitely get on the waitlist. It's in the description. All my fucking links to exchanges are down there as well, but you know what I recommend. And then, it's all right. You know, it's all right. We went down to 98. Sorry, 89. I was calling for 88 being next support. We went to 89,200, and now we're having a nice little rocket ship off that. In terms of, I wouldn't call it a rocket ship to be honest. It's a 5% move. We have a little bit of a move off it in terms of 5%. What you're looking for the bulls? Obviously, we're still in a downtrend on the lower time frame. So what we need to break is, 90 between 95 and 96 is crucial to get above. And to be honest, guys, I'll just leave it with this. I have an indicator called AI Charting Tools. It's all on there for you, so you don't really need to chart yourself anymore. My indicators do it for you. But I'm saying here is a very crucial level to start at least something. If you can get above this, then you have support to buy underneath you, because all you're doing in SR trading is you're waiting for levels to be broken and then buying them on the retest. But right now, there's no retesting level to buy. So you need to break something to then retest to buy it. Because resistance gets broken and resistance turns to support. And that's what the whole premise of SR trading is. You're just flipping SR flips, they're called. And that's what you're waiting for. So that's for the bulls. If not, we'll probably get resistance and then we continue lower. And then the next level is $74,000, guys. $10,000 drop. That's going to be nice and fun for all of you. It'll be fun for the bears. It will not be fun for the bulls. And then if we go to 74, guys, I think the probability of us going to a bear market increases to at least 40, 50% maybe. If we go all the way to if we just nuke now to 74, I reckon it's a 50-50 chance that Bitcoin's going into a long-term bear market. And gold's at the highs. It's at purchasing power of 2011. The stock market's at the height of .com right now in terms of purchasing power and value. So, yeah. The SPX, we're at .com levels. Gold, we're at 2011 purchasing power levels, which is historic. It hasn't done that for many, many years. Obviously, 1971 was ridiculous, but that's when we came off the gold standard. So I'll call that a blip or an anomaly. Difficult word to say. Anomaly. And then, yeah, so it's crazy. Stock market's at the highs, gold's at the highs, Bitcoin, if we go to 74, it's a 50% chance in my book that we're going into a bear market. If we go all the way back to 100 now, then it's a reduced chance. But, yeah, that's going to be madness. Bear market, 125k was the top if we... Well, it's 50% chance if we go to fucking 74. Because we could go 74, then rally all the way back up to 100, find support halfway through at about 88 again, and then rally. But all I can say, if you're an investor in Bitcoin, you're buying it at a 30% discount for the long term. So investment, great. I'm DCAing the whole way down. I buy every single day. Swing trading, my bot sold anyway, so I'm out. And the lower time frame swing trades, the lower time frame scalp trade I just did lost money. I lost about 1% at 94. And then my investment is my investment, so I'm not going to touch that. So yeah. Legends, I'll see you on Z Flippers. Thanks, Pete, for your time, my friend.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
see
get
you
into
tomorrow.
Baldur's Ballsack.
See you later.